Welcome. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about solving the mystery of how to fit a garment. This will be really basic, but I think there's 10 principles that will really help you in solving that issue. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. All right, so today I'm calling solving the fit puzzle. So what I want to do today, first of all, I have a couple things to say. I want to say hi to everybody. And if you'd like to ask a question or chat like we usually do, just hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. Last week we had a terrible amount of trolls and robots trying to interrupt our conversation. So I looked into ways to stop that. One would be to have a paid membership, but I really don't want to make the chats cost anything. So there is a way to do it subscribers only. So if you would like to participate, just click that subscribe button. It's free, it's easy, and I promise I won't spam you or anything. All right. So so today I wanted to just talk about, among other things, I wanted to talk about the fit adjustment and how to look at it. Not so much individual, like we've done our pants fitting, we've done our, bodice fitting and that, but what we need to do is do the overall concepts of what you do first, what you do second. That there's 10 things to remember when you are fitting a garment. This is pretty basic for some of you, but should be helpful. All right, so let me see. We've got Dee. Hi, Dee. Nice to see you. Rhonda, Elizabeth, Carol, Eli Cool. Hi, nice to see you. Lynn, Tracy, Elizabeth again. Let's see, what did Dee say? Looking forward to a discussion. Okay, good. Hello from Italy. Hi, Francesca. Nice to see you. And, oh, Hexy. I'm sorry. My print is this big, so it makes it a little hard. Hello, Linda. Nice to see you, too. All right. So, basically, let me just pull up the messages here. Okay. So basically, if you look at fit as solving a problem, so if you have a mystery, like if you like to read mystery novels, I do some and some I don't, but I do like the mysteries on the Hallmark Channel. So if you look at fitting a pattern like that, you're gathering cues to show you what it is you need to adjust. Okay, so that's the first thing, would be to look at a pattern and just approaching it like a sleuth. Okay, so that's number one. Let's see here. We've got Hexy from Germany and Linda, Joanne from Joanne, Renee, and Therese. Hello, Therese. And we have Dolores and Dizzy Quilts from Montreal. So nice to see all of you. So what I want to do then is go into the other 9 steps of how to approach a pattern. And if you have comments throughout or questions, just fire them away. And of course, you can always, we do care about each other here. So if you have a prayer request or, you want to say something personal, it's not off limits or anything. This is a chat and it's fellowship. So we will, it's as if we were going to discuss this over a cup of coffee, and that's how I want it to feel. Hi, Nancy. You are very welcome for the topic. Hallmark Mysteries. Yes, ma'am. I love them. Love them so much. So, let's see. So number two is basically taking accurate measurements, which seems like a duh, but sometimes we are not so accurate. I know I can be off by like 3/4 of an inch sometimes just by doing it in the wrong spot or not having the right bra on or, um, just losing a little bit of weight and not remeasuring myself. I've lost 30 pounds. I would not recommend this as a way to lose it, though. Grief has definitely affected me in that way. But, now that it's off, I want to keep it off, though. But, definitely if you lose more than 5 or 6 pounds, you should remeasure yourself. And I heard someone say that they actually measure themselves before every pattern that they make. So that's not a bad idea, especially if you fluctuate up or down. So if you start noticing that things you made before are getting a little loose, it's time to remeasure. Or if they're getting a little too tight, it's time to remeasure. So it goes without saying, but still, I think it's important to say to measure yourself really accurately. Get a friend if you can't reach around and know that that's, right on your hips or whatever. There's some things that are really hard to measure without a buddy. So just find a fit buddy, someone that you trust, your husband, or now in my case, I'm going to have to use one of my kids, I guess, and just let them help you measure. All right, after that, and only after that, you're going to choose the size of the pattern by your measurements. And you're not going to look at the finished measurements, and if your finished bust is 43, and you look at the finished garment measurements and it says 43, you want to make sure you don't use that. You want to use the suggested measurements before you pick a size. So you have to consider the ease that is involved there. If it's a loose fitting garment, then it's sort of style ease. If it's just fits perfectly with just the right amount so that you're comfortable, that's wearing ease. And then when you come to knits, it's negative ease sometimes because it stretches and you want it to form fit on your body. So those are 3 different kinds of ease that you have to take into account when you choose your size. And just make sure when you choose a top pattern, I would go by my upper bust area up here. All right. If there's some patterns that don't have that measurement, some companies that don't give that as an option. Okay. So what I do is I try to think about, how small I am right here. If I've made something from that company before, I'll kind of know whether I need to go up or down. I tend to be really small here and then bigger at the bust and the rest of the way down. So I generally would do the narrow shoulder adjustment instead of increasing the size on the rest of me. I mean, instead of decreasing, no, increasing. Sorry. Anyway, choose your size by your upper bust measurement when you have a choice, and then also with pants, especially fitted ones, you're going to want to go by your hip measurement. If it's a gathered skirt with lots of ease, then you want to go by your waist measurement. So definitely you want to get all those measurements and use those as a clue to choose your size. And remember that you can blend sizes, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but you don't have to. If the top, let's say it's a jumpsuit pattern, and you wear a size 12 top on the top, and you wear a 16 on the bottom. Well, there are ways to blend those two together, and so that's what you'll need to do. And when you print your pattern, you print the, everything from the smallest size you're going to use all the way up into the largest size you're going to use. And then you can choose which lines you want to grade out to. All right. All right, let me check comments here. I cannot believe this. How do these people get in here? I'm reporting this person. I don't know how they can get in here since I did that. That's really scary that they can go right around it. All right, sorry about that language. Really makes me angry when that happens. I'm so sorry, you guys. Hello, Therese. I'm actually going to be in Michigan soon as well. I'm moving to Michigan, so let's see. Hello, Ivy. Nice to see you. I know I got them. I got them. They're blocked now, but if you see any more, call it to my attention. It's really makes me angry that they do that. Really, really angry. Yes. Actually, Ivy's a moderator. I mean, she's an admin of the well, not YouTube though. So I'll do that. I'll make somebody a moderator so they can help me with that. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm trying. I'm trying to keep these people out. Okay. So hello, Ivy. Hi, Brenda. Okay. Let's get back to what we were doing. I just hate that. Why do people do that? I don't understand. But hey, Libby. Just wanted to say thanks for encouraging you to use your serger. That's awesome. Still lots to learn, but you really love it. Oh, I know. Don't you? I mean, a serger is just it's just it's inseparable for me. I love it. I need to take it in for service, just be routine, and I don't want to be without it. I was going to do it while I was having surgery, but that didn't happen. And of course, I didn't get around to anything until just about now. So thank you, Joanne. I know that, but I know that I'm trying to get those out. So awful. All right. Oh, Barb is finally able to join the live, she said. Oh, let's see. Go. All right. Good. Well, I'm glad you could join us. All right. I definitely need a moderator. It's hard to stay on topic with all of this. Okay. So anyway, that would be choosing your size. Okay. So use your measurements, not your usual size that you get when you go to the store. Because they're all over the place. I mean, a 12 at Walmart could be a 16 at Kohl's or something. So you just really need to. I've actually seen that much of a difference. So don't go by store numbers. Don't be freaked out if it's more. A lot of times with patterns, you have to go, they don't label it as what you're used to buying in the store. The stores do that so that you feel good about yourself and buy more. So, we need to definitely go by the measurements. And a meme I saw said, when I make it, it's whatever size I say it is. So don't worry about the number. Just make it so it fits you. I guarantee you'll look thinner if it fits. Guaranteed. All right. So the next thing I would do is adjust for height first before you do anything else. So, and that would include lowering your bodice or your crotch length, anything like that. Of course, your hemline. Remember that lowering the overall thing, it doesn't automatically go at the bottom. In other words, uh, when you have a bodice, you have up here and down here. Well, where is it that you need it to be lengthened? So you have to take that into account. You know, I'm like longer right through here, so that's where I add my length. With your pants, you want to figure out where that knee is supposed to be and make sure that the knee is where your knee falls. So those are some tips in how to adjust, lengthen or shorten uh, with you know, fit in mind, because if you get that wrong, lots of things can be wrong, especially when it comes to pants. If you don't get that hip to knee right, it's going to cause all kinds of problems. So definitely use the segments of your body rather than the overall when you adjust for length. Next, I should have said length instead of height there. So height is just, that's overall. Length is actually these segments, okay? Next, after that, then you want to adjust for body curves. And so this is where you're going to do your full bust, your full bicep, your full tummy, all those that just kind of uh, do get the curves so that you can go up or down. All right. And remember, you haven't made a muslin yet. So basically, you're going to do this by finding out how much ease is in the pattern and then making sure that you add what you need to add by one of those methods. All right, so if in a size 14, let's say the bust has 2 inches of ease, okay? This is an example, just pattern out of my brain, okay? Then if you need to, let's say it's a 42 bust, okay? The pattern is a 42 bust, and so the final measurement of the pattern is 44. So you can look there and you can subtract the finished from the sizing, and you can know that there's 2 inches of ease that are needed in that pattern. So then what you want to do is make sure when you're going with your adjustments that you are keeping that 2 inches of ease. Hopefully that makes sense. But definitely consider that. And there's lots of, I already have a lot of videos on adjusting the curves, but I'll probably revisit them as time goes on as well. Number 6 is going to be finally your width adjustment. If you just need a room on, if you just need more room in the sides or something like that, that's when you're going to do those adjustments. And here is where you'll do the pattern grading from one size to another. So let's say you've got 14 bodice on an 18 bottom, okay? So you're going to follow the 14 down to, it depends on where that extra starts. If it starts at your waist, you're going to kind of come down gradually to the 18, right? And just grade that ever so slightly, blend it together to be the right size on the bottom, okay? So if you are having trouble figuring out where the line goes, you can go from known point to known point. So if you know that here is where the 14 bodice is, and here is where the 18 waist is, you can just take your ruler and grade it right down. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. There's plenty of videos. This is an overview video. So I am going to spend time with each of these over and over again. The pants fitting one definitely covers a lot of this, but and as well the bodice one. But we're going to fit is something I'm always going to circle around, circle around, circle around, because it is really important. All right, let's see where the comments are. Oh, Anessa, it's nice to see you too. And Barb, thanks for joining. Lynn says sergers are great. Yes, they are. Do it while I'm setting up my new room so I won't have time to miss it. That's a good idea, Ivy. Definitely. Oh, thank you so much, Nancy. Nancy mentioned the neckline on this top. This is a classic tee, but I borrowed the neckline from the Sunday romper. So the back dips down as well. And it's one of my favorite tops. So that's a great hack, easy, simple, to just hack that neckline from the Sunday romper right over to the classic tee, which is what this is. All right. Hi, Anne. Nice to see you. You have to make molds from scratch for each client. Oh, that's a really great idea. Pantinos Dalu. So you must be a tailor or a dressmaker of some kind. That is wonderful. We could probably learn a lot from you as well. Francesca, okay, good. I'm glad it makes sense. That's awesome. Is there a limit to the difference in sizes, like 20 full bust, 14 waist, 10 hip? I would say no, but I would question it. I would try to do that as gradually as you can, and thinking about, okay, is a little more ease in the hip, maybe will that help it look more proportional? Just kind of, it's going to be a trial and error. It's one of those clues. But no, there's not really a limit. It's just a matter of making it gradual. So if you can't make it gradual, then you might want to see how you can balance that out a little bit. And I think a lot of times, whatever's fitted in the pattern, you're going to make the right size. And then let's say it's an A-line skirt. Well, if you have the size, what were you saying? A size 14 waist and a 10 hip. Let's say it's an A-line skirt. You don't really have to go all the way down to the 12 at your hip level, because it's A-line. You can have a little extra room there. So it's kind of like just using your head a little bit and what would look good. And honestly, if you can do it gradually, you're fine. You can do the 10 hip, no problem. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. Hi, Sandy, Sandra. My goal is to get to the point I feel comfortable making those kinds of hacks. Yes, I hope that for all of us as well. I'm really wanting to help everyone get to the point where they're comfortable. First step is to learn how to fit, and then you can play with all the hacks and all the fun stuff. I can definitely demonstrate how I did this if you're interested, and it's really simple. There's a pattern I'm testing right now for Love Notions, and I see in my head a different sleeve on there for a hack for me for later. Can't do that while I'm testing, but I may do it for later. And I would be borrowing that sleeve from the Rhapsody and putting it on the new pattern. So what I would have to do, not just the sleeve, but I also have to grab the arm size so that it actually fits there. So those are the kind of things you have to think about. If you're going to change a piece, what does this piece connect to, and how do I tie it together? So that's one thing for doing that. But I plan to spend a lot more time on fitting and a lot more examples on hacking. And I hope that this is going to be a really good resource for everyone. All right. The seventh thing is to make your muslin. So now you don't have to use the same fabric, okay? If it's woven, you can use a woven, any old woven that's maybe about the same weight or not too much different. Quilt cotton works really well for most things. Now, got to realize though that the drape is going to be different. If I'm using cotton quilting fabric and the end result is going to be rayon challis, I have to take into account that rayon challis is a lot drapier. So I know that the look of it's not going to necessarily be the same, but the fit will be, if that makes any sense. Also, with knits, you can use any knit, but try to make sure it's the same percentage of stretch that is in your final fabric. So if you have, you know, jersey that's 25% stretch, make sure you have any knit for 25% stretch, and you should be okay. Same weight, again, as much as possible, because the weightier that they are, the more stable it becomes, even though it's, you know, even though the stretch is there, sometimes weightier knits will be more stable. And actually, they usually don't have as much stretch either. So I guess it's kind of how. Hi, Becky. Nice to see you. Aunt Beck's Creations. We haven't seen you in a little while. All right. I would love to. I will show the hack of that. I'll put that on my list. I'm making a big list. I'm diving into this channel. This is going to be, you know, what I'm going to pour myself into for a little while here. It helps to be busy, and I'm going to be doing that. Of course, I'm moving here in a couple weeks, so I need to also, I have a lot to do, you know, around, and I'm going to get my sewing room back up as quickly as possible as soon as I move. But I told my kids this room has to be the last one torn down and the first one put up in my new place, because I've already interrupted the channel with Kevin's passing, and I don't want to interrupt it too much more. So I'm going to try not to do that. All right, Libby, I know Tracy. I wondered where standard measurements so you can know if you're long, short, etc. Well, I would use the patterns on the or the measurements on the actual pattern you're making, but and kind of it's subjective, or yeah, subjective. Sorry, it's a little bit subjective, because it's like, where do you want your waist to fall? You know, generally, I think the waist is kind of, you know, if you're going to put your hands like that, where do you put them? That's kind of where I measure from. But, you know, it just depends on where you like your waistbands to be. So, but they do have like charts for all the big fours. For a lot of the stores, you can actually go and do a search for those, and you can find them pretty easily. All right, number 8. I hope this is helping. I definitely, you know, wish I could show an example with each one, but this is meant as an overview, and I will be covering these as we go. In fact, I have already covered some of them. So then after you make your muslin, you're going to examine the fit. And this is where a lot of people get lost, I guess, or where they don't know what to do, because they see wrinkles or they see folds and they don't know what they mean. And it's pretty simple little fact is to know that wrinkles or drag lines are where there's not enough fabric. So if you have drag lines across your stomach, you need a full tummy adjustment. If you have drag lines in your hips, you need to go out on the hips some. If you need, if your top is stretched and you've got drag lines here, like, you know, where it's like that, where you can see the drag lines. I'm talking about wrinkles or drag lines. I'm not talking about folds, okay? So wrinkles show that you don't have enough fabric, but folds are that you have too much. So you can see sometimes it's a little subtle, so you have to ask yourself, is this a wrinkle or a fold? So if you have folds in, let's say, between your waist and hip, and you have a fold, which I often will get on pants that don't fit me right, because I have a very short front rise, not back rise, but front. And, until I figured that out, I would always have this big fold right there. And that's what it is. It's too much fabric. So if you have something like that, you have to decide, is this a wrinkle or a fold? And I'd say a wrinkle is something that appears, and a fold is something that you can actually pinch and have fabric here. I think that's what a fold is to me. So, all right. Are they really, again? Unbelievable. This is ridiculous. Okay. A new notebook, huh? All right. You mean for notes on how to fit? Yeah, I mean, and it's a mystery. Like I said, don't forget these are clues. So, and sometimes you might think it's a wrinkle and it's really a fold, or vice versa. So, if you're adjusting based on that and it's not going well, you might ask yourself, is this a fold or is this a wrinkle? Because sometimes they look a little the same. The differences are very subtle. All right. So that's basically after the toile, you're going to examine the fit. All right. And then you're going to go ahead and adjust the fabric and sew the final one. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and make your adjustments. Some of them can be just made on the muslin itself, but just don't forget to go back to the pattern and make that adjustment as well. And then you'll have that adjustment, and you'll be able to make it the next time and have it fit. Okay, that is number 9. And then that's pretty straightforward. Number 10. Okay, so once you have done that, you have, let's say you have a really good fitting pair of pants. You can take that pair of pants and you can hold that crotch curve, just fold it so you can see it. Hold that up to a pattern and go, oh, okay, you can kind of see what you're going to need. So you can start off with those adjustments. And once you know your body, you do this, you fit pants 2 or 3 or 4 times, and then you start to know what you're going to need to do. So that's how you get to the part where you have clothes that fit you all the time. And it takes a while. It takes some, making of things that sometimes don't work out. But every time that you go back to the drawing board, you have a greater chance of success at the end. So just know that it's worth the time and the effort that you put in. Thank you, Ivy, very much. Fit buddy makes thin. Okay. Oh, yes, when they fit, it does make you thinner for sure. Good. I'm glad it seems easier. I really think that anybody can achieve a good fit. It's just a matter of taking the clues that you've gathered and putting it into sewing the garment. Now, when it comes to muslin fabrics, I don't know, let's put a question out there. What do you use for muslins? I use for woven fabrics, I generally will use sheets, old sheets. I buy them at garage sales. I have my own stash of them that I don't have a bed for anymore, or they're tattered and worn. Who cares for a muslin, right? So I use that. I also, for knit muslins, I will buy a really cheap knit at Walmart. And you know what's really funny is many of those muslins end up being my favorite thing after I'm done. So that is another way that you can use. Keep it inexpensive. And remember that you really only have to do that process once each pattern. And then after you, after you do that with pants patterns a couple times, all right, do a real fitted pair and then, maybe a knit pair and a woven pair or whatever. Then you're going to be able to go ahead and take that and transfer your knowledge that you learned from that to another pattern, and eventually you might not have to make the muslin anymore. So it's worth the time and effort in the beginning to learn how your body is. And even if you gain and lose weight, your proportions are going to be basically the same. So like right now I've lost weight, but that crotch curve really hasn't changed very much. The width has, but not the actual curve itself. So that's something that you can kind of transfer to another pattern. It's just the crotch curve, the whether or not you need a full bust, your neck and shoulder area, your shoulder slope, all those things. Those can be transferred to other patterns once you learn about your body. All right, so that's what I've got. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Tracy said that the videos have taught her that she's never really worn clothes, good fitting clothes. And I guess unless you sew and make them yourself and learn how to fit, nobody does. I mean, how many people do you see out there walking around with pants that don't fit? I see it all the time. And now it kind of drives me nuts because I notice it more than I ever did, before I learned so much about it. I sewed for 60 years, right? But I didn't really learn how to fit well until maybe 10 years ago. So it's worth the time and effort. Good. All right, let's see comments here. Anessa needs a fit buddy. I do too. Now I guess I'm gonna have to ask one of my children, or if you've got a good a good friend in your social circle that's another lady that is wouldn't mind helping you out, that's a good place to start too. Your mom, if she's still around, my mom used to be my fit body till I got married. I've not fit buddy till I got married, and then my husband would measure me, and he got quite good at it actually. And now I've done it myself so far, but I'm probably going to need to get use one of my children. I'll probably ask my daughter since she'll soon be only living 4 miles from me. So that is probably what I will do. Yes, Lynn, perfect. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make, is that the good thing is you get better and better the more you try. So with every garment that you invest your time into fitting is going to get better and better and better. And once you know your body, it's going to be you'll start thinking, why did I ever think this was hard? It's just a matter of knowing your body. And in knowing your body and knowing that you have a long waist or you have short legs or you have, whatever, then a little bit how to dress because you want to keep proportions. If you've never watched my series on Does This Look Good, what looks good on people, I did one video all about proportion and the golden rule. Golden proportion, sorry, not the golden rule. That's do unto others. That's not what I mean. The golden proportion, which means it's a lot of things in nature use that, but it's like, 2/3, 1/3. So it's like in photography, the rule of thirds, where you place it on 2/3 of the way over for a subject. That's a really, really simple way of explaining it. But if you look even in the Bible, the instructions that were given for the Noah's Ark. Followed that procedure, so it's pleasing to the eye. A lot of architecture uses it, so that's something you can work on yourself, what looks good on you as well, by knowing, okay, my torso is longer than usual, or my legs are shorter than usual. So then there doesn't have to be any rules about that, as I think I make that point in that video as well. But just a couple tips that will really help you make clothes that fit and look good on you. So, and they're back. I don't know what to do with these people. I keep reporting them. It's really awful. I'm so sorry, you guys. They're just everywhere today. Cheryl says, I live way out of town, and with the cost of fuel, I can't afford to have someone help fit me. I guess my new fit best friend will be my mirrors, and that's actually, it's actually quite possible. There's a measuring tape out there that has a little a little thing where you can actually have it be held in place. It's hard to describe, but there is one like that available to help you measure yourself. I've never gotten one, but I think I might need to get one soon. Um, I, I just reported them again for this troll. I just don't know how they're getting in. It's really awful. Easy check tape measure that makes taking measurements a breeze. So Lynn, can you give us the link to that tape measure if you happen to have it? It snaps in place and then comes apart to check measurement. Yes, if you can do that, I really appreciate it, because I've seen them. I don't have one, so I can't really recommend where to get it. So if you have a link, you can share that in this chat or on the Facebook group, or both. You've decided to ignore the trolls. Yeah, I am too, but it still upsets me because I don't like those words, and I don't like people who take advantage of people, and I don't know how they got past the subscriber only thing. I just don't know. So it's really sad. Anybody who's that smart could solve a world problem. Why do they have to take that and use it for evil instead of good? I don't know. I have not seen Crafty Gemini's. I watch her occasionally, but I've never seen her tape measure. But yeah, you can definitely, they're out there. And I got the link to one, and then I never bought one because I ended up not needing it. But I will definitely get one now because I don't have my husband to help me anymore. So, hey, look there, ladies. I said that without crying. That's a first. So yeah, I'm doing better. I am doing much better with that. Not to be personal, but if you haven't been watching my channel, I lost my husband on Mother's Day, and it's been really difficult, and it still is difficult. But I'm getting to the point where I can talk about them. I can laugh about things that happened before, and memories are turning a little sweeter. And ironically, when I edited that pegboard video a few weeks ago, that was very comforting to me to see him and hear his voice. And the tears are still coming, but it doesn't devastate me every time I have to talk about it. So, doing better, which is a good thing. Thank you, Sandra. Linda says she purchased an Easy Check tape measure from SureFit. Islander sells them as well. Okay, good. I'll have to check that out, and I will leave you guys a link. Thank you, Ivy. Joanne says her son passed away 7 years ago, and you still have difficult times. Oh, I don't doubt it. I know I'm still going to have times. But my kids deserve a mom who has it together for them. My grandchildren deserve a happy Grammy. And I deserve to be happy. So I am investing the time and effort and prayer into, I don't even want to say getting past it, but going forward with it, because it can be crippling, or it can help you know how important those moments are in life and be a force for people to be better, So that's I'm trying to do. So thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Deep bought one, not a brand name, from Amazon for $6. All right, we'll find that link, and I will put it in the Facebook group, and you guys can check that out, or perhaps I'll come back and put it on the comments here as well. All right, so anybody have any other questions this week? I hope that was helpful for you, but if you just look at it as a mystery and adventure, it can even be a little bit fun. I know there's nothing like the feeling of putting on a pair of pants that fits. I know that's really like serious. My kids would roll their eyes and say, "Seriously, Mom?" But it's true. When you've taken all that time and you put them on and you look in the mirror and you turn around and you look and you go, "These really fit me." That feels good, and they look good too when they fit you. So it's worth the effort for sure. Oh, no, Joanne, that was fine to post. I didn't mean that at all. She said she apologized if the note was wrong. We have to go on for our children and grandchildren. Absolutely. And I did not mean for that to, back at you, I didn't mean for that to be scolding or anything. I was just an observation from me, not you. So, didn't, I believe me, I know, it's hard to say what's worse, but I can't imagine losing a child. I just can't, no matter how old they are. You're not supposed to outlive your kids. I mean, you're not supposed to outlive your kids. So, I think we all know that one of us, in a spousal relationship, one of us is going to go first, right? I always thought it would be me. And so, because my parents both died young, I thought it would be me. I didn't think it would be him. So I never thought about it a lot because I thought I'd be the one leaving first. So, but that's not the way it happened, and I know that he is experiencing extravagant joy in the arms of our Savior. So, and I don't know how you can get through this without faith. It means everything to me. So, it's kind of like a blind trust. I feel like I'm Peter stepping out of the boat, and I can do this, I can do that. But the minute I take my eyes off of Jesus, then that's when I get depressed and ugly feeling. And but as long as I tell myself the truth, the truth is that He loved me, that God loves me, that God has a purpose for me, and more to write in my story. So that's end rant. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to preach at you, but that's just from my heart to you. Yes, it is a process for sure. Kristen lost her husband right when she started watching videos, and I remember how loving and kind you all were to me. And now to see you go through this just breaks my heart. Oh, Kristen, thank you so much. Um, that's really sweet. It's really sweet. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying very hard to. And it is work. It's work to not let yourself get in the dumps. It's really hard to keep your focus on the Lord, or keep your focus on the truth. And the truth is, He isn't. He is. People say, "Oh, He's in a better place," and I don't know if they even know what they're saying. But the truth is, yes, He is in a better place. So, and I will be too someday with Him again there. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry to rant about that, but I am really trying, and this channel has meant everything to me. And I don't mean that in place of God or anything, but God has used it for helping me with feeling purposeful and feeling friendship, fellowship. It's filled a void for me that I didn't even know was coming. So God knew, and that's why He helped me get this going. So yeah, so I'll be investing a lot of time into these tutorials and things for you guys. So yeah. Anyway, uh, I know, Lynn. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ronald. I appreciate that. Ronald says that my mind and heart are in the right place. So I really appreciate that. So I'm moving on the 23rd, which also happens to be our 45th wedding anniversary. But I figure I'm taking a step forward, and I won't be alone. So I'll have my kids around me all day that day. So I think it's probably good. Um, yeah. Oh, you're Ronald Smith's wife. Okay. Sorry. All right. Very good. All right. So that's what I had on fit, although we didn't end there. I should have said this before, but those are the 10 things, and I think if you practice those I get a lot of questions about what to do first, which is why I decided to develop a 10 step order to do things. So if you just kind of jot those down and you know follow that along, you'll have better success. So we sewing sisters stick together through thick and thin. Know that we're all praying for you and your family. Oh, that's so sweet. And likewise, I'm praying for all of you as well. All right. So, any other questions? How about chat topics? Did you like this one? Do you want more like this? Is there anything, any topic that you would like me to cover that I haven't yet? I'm working on the sort of podcast style with interviews. I'm working on getting that. I'm not going to be diving into that until after I move, but I am starting to contact people and see who might be interested. And some people are very resistant to coming on camera, so it's a little difficult. But I think if other people, they just don't want to go first. But I think if other people do it first, then people will. So if you are a blogger or a YouTuber or own a pattern company or are an ambassador for a company or anything like that, and you want to come on and be a guest on this chat, just let me know, because I'm going to be doing sort of an interview style of at least from time to time, if not all the time. And I'd love for that to grow into a, you know, sought after podcast. And, you know, if it starts getting impersonal, then we'll add something for just chatting. I don't want to take away the personal side of it. But if it does take off to where we have more people and it becomes less personal, then I will have some other kind of little chat to update ourselves on each other and pray for each other and all that. So, is it possible to do a demonstration for transferring changes from a muslin to a pattern? Yeah, actually, that there is. That's probably a good thing. I probably won't do that till after I move, though. But that's a great idea to do in the future. Because I don't really have a pattern that needs to be done like that right now. But I definitely will do that with the next time I make a muslin. So that's okay. It'll grow. 19 is good. I'm good with that. And she said only 19 people have liked it so far, and that's okay. But if you are new here and haven't liked or subscribed, please go ahead and click that button. This is a informal tutorial style on the chat here. Then I do try to do tutorial videos besides this. I thought about doing these as regular video, and then I thought, no, I think that maybe it would be good for people to have an opportunity for questions. So I decided to do it in the chat. That's a great idea, Ivy. It's very warm up here all of a sudden. I don't know why. I'm upstairs with a huge LED light on me. That's probably why. 33. Good. Maybe everybody hid it after she said that. Yeah. Well, anyway, I have enjoyed being with you guys as always. And got a few more minutes here for a chat if you'd like to jump in. Any questions? All right. Well, with that, I think I'm just going to say happy sewing and have a good evening. And as always, I love you all, and every single one of anybody who watches my videos and cheers me on. I love that. You don't have to, not cheers me on, that's not what I mean, but appreciates what I do. I love you all for that. So thank you, and I will be seeing you in the next video. And I have a sneak peek. Okay, sneak peek. Let's see. Let me find a good piece here. Sneak peek, Girl Charlie fabric haul. I've got that to film probably later this week. Probably the weekend I'll do that. And there's a good feature Friday for Love Notions this week, so be sure and check that out. And I'll put a link to that on the Facebook group as well. And have a wonderful day, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Happy sewing.